Good evening. My name is Abigail Fianco. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you had to perform CPR on someone? Because I did, and it happened to be a 16-year-old child in the middle of rush hour traffic with his mother witnessing the entire situation. From this experience, I realized that I believe all military members should be CPR certified and how a 2-hour class can mean the difference between life or death. On 21 July, I found myself in a situation while on duty where unfortunately I had to perform CPR on a 16-year-old patient. His brother had also been shot in the chest in front of their mother. Let me give a little bit of background on me. So I am not a first responder. My husband is. He's a firefighter for the Air Force. However, I work in logistics. So I sit behind a computer all day and I plan deployments and cargo movements and troop movements. However, I am not involved in day-to-day saving lives, all the heroic things. That's not my job. I, however, have deployed multiple times and I have moved around quite a bit. And so whenever you deploy or move, you take a class called TCCC, which stands for Tactical Casualty Care Class. However, it's kind of a basic entry-level class where you just learn about how to use a tourniquet and what to do if somebody is in shock. It is not in depth whatsoever. If you are a firefighter, police, or medical personnel, there's 2 more tiers of TCCC, and so you take those classes and it goes way more in depth about what to do, and I think you take it more frequently. The standard, if you are not a first responder, is right around once every 2 years. I was previously a unit fitness monitor, and so in order to be one, you have to be CPR and AED certified, just in case if anyone has an emergency while they're running and completing their fitness test. Additionally, I work part-time in an emergency room at one of the local hospitals here in Charleston, to try and build up experience for my nursing school application that I will be submitting next year. So why is any of this important? It's kind of to help paint a little picture that I am slightly more qualified than just the average Air Force member. However, I am by no means paramedic, EMT, first responder of any sorts. In many crisis situations, most people look for somebody of an authority figure, such as somebody in uniform. For example, a police officer, military member, and this is for protection and action. Military, fire, and police representatives are trained repetitively for crisis situations to be able to combat and overcome the body and mind's natural fight, flight, or freeze reaction. However, just because you're military does not mean that you are trained like that. It is imperative, however, for everyone to have the mental ability to identify and react in a crisis situation, for the victim survival rate, and especially as Department of War members, which we are. According to the American Heart Association, bystander cardiopulmonary resuscitation, aka CPR, is a crucial link in the survival of cardiac arrest. Bystander CPR maintains blood flow to vital organs, increasing the probability of successful defibrillation, and is associated with higher likelihood of survival. What does this mean? It means that if we're trained to identify and react to cardiac arrest emergencies, the victim's survival rate is greatly improved. Every minute that CPR is delayed, it reduces the victim's survival rate by 10%. So if we look right here, I apologize. This is a graph that shows here in the first column 0 to 1 minutes for CPR to be performed, and then the percentage of survival rate. The blue one at the top is just overall survival rate, and then the yellow bottom one is favorable neurological survival rates. So as you see here, the longer that CPR is delayed, the more it decreases. Currently, unless you're a medical provider, firefighter, police officer, or fitness monitor, you are not required to be CPR certified in the United States Air Force, which a lot of people find very surprising, as I did as well. It would make sense that in a situation that you would want us to be able to react and react appropriately. If you are not listed in one of those previously mentioned career fields, and you want to be CPR certified, you will have to go pay either $60 to $100, depending on where you go, to attend a CPR class in the local community. We need to dedicate more funding and resources to having more military members become CPR certified. Additionally, I believe all service members should be issued a personal mouth shield to protect themselves from potential medical risks associated from saving somebody and doing mouth to mouth, which I have one right here to show. It comes in this cool little carry case. I usually keep this in my pocket. I have one in my car as well, but it has a little mask that you put around the victim, and then you breathe through the tube. That also comes with instructions. This is very helpful because doing a good deed, you also don't want to put yourself at risk. Well, thankfully, most of us do not find themselves in situations utilizing CPR on a daily basis. It's better to be prepared and not need it than need it and not be prepared. To wrap this up, as representatives of the Department of War, we're expected to react swiftly and appropriate to all situations. If someone freezes in a crisis, not only are they putting themselves at risk, but those around them. Without knowledge and training, it is unlikely for a member to be able to react to a cardiac arrest, which can result in death. Military members should be CPR certified, and a simple 2-hour course can mean the difference between saving someone's life or them passing away. Due to my medical training and knowledge from outside of the Air Force, both juvenile victims lived on that 21 July shooting here in Charleston.